Greetings, fellow cruisers. This is Jeff from Enjoy Life Traveling. Today I'm going to be talking about Royal Caribbean's Casino Point program as far as the tiers, the benefits, and how that all works out. I keep seeing more and more questions and I wanted to address them. The first thing I wanted to talk about was the very first tier when you first start out, which is Choice. That is 0 to 2,499 points. The next tier after that is Prime, which is 2,500 points and goes all the way up to 24,999 points. So that's a big difference. And then at that point you become Signature, and Signature is 25,000 points to 99,999. And then at that point you become Master. So Master is basically over 100,000 points, and I wanted to talk about how to get there, what the benefits are, so here we go. So with any of these tiers, what you're going to want to know is that you do not have to do this all in one cruise. This is something that you accrue over a period of time. Now, you don't get the benefits until you make it there, but if you're planning on cruising a lot, that can be sometimes better than to try to bet more than maybe what you're looking to do to try to hit a certain status. But you need to plan for these things because, blowing the budget and not making house payments. I'm sure you've all heard those stories of someone just going too far with their gambling, and I actually witnessed that just recently. On your way to Prime status, you can get, and you've heard me say this one before, but you can get free cruises along the way through the email offers or going to clubroyaloffers.com for whatever you've played. You'll get some offers on. Those are getting harder to get. But I still think so far anyway it's the most lucrative. So when you're playing in the casino, they'll have a page up there and it changes, talking about how much points you need to earn on that cruise to earn free cruises or discounts on cruises. It may change the cabin type as to how much you spend in the casino, or how many points I really should say. It's not really about how much you spend because you can win and get all this stuff. So that's not really the way to think about it. But again, there'll be tiers to where you can earn free cruises just from the points. But again, you don't have to get that. A few hundred points, 500-600 points can get you some offers of at least some select cruises. May not be everything you want, but if you're really flexible with your schedule, I would definitely recommend doing this. One of the benefits for your casino play is discounts at FE Jewelry. So it's kind of like getting a coupon for something if you're getting $200 off of something that's thousands of dollars. But that's your very first tier. Your Choice tier will get you $200 off. When you make Prime, you'll be at $250 off. When you become Signature, you'll get $350 off. And when you're Masters, you get $550 off. Now, if you're not going to be looking to buy jewelry, then that's probably not something that's going to affect you. That's kind of where I'm at with that. It doesn't mean that I don't appreciate it. But when they're looking at the different things that are offered, there's a lot of things offered, and some's going to be affecting some people and some are going to affect others. So the next thing out there is on using the spa. So as a Choice member, there is no discount for being a Choice member. There's no savings. However, when you get to Prime, which is at 2,500 points, you can get 10% off of your spa treatment. At Signature, you can get 15% off, and at Masters, you can get 20% off. So again, if you're not going to maybe be using those particular features, maybe that doesn't affect you, but on your overall cruising experience, I think that it's a good value, and I think the more that you cruise, the more you start considering some of those other forms of entertainment, say with the spa, relaxing, paying for something extra, splurging a little bit like that is a nice little thing to do. It really isn't something that I've done yet, but I mean, I can see it. I've done the tour, and it looks like a pretty good deal. But if I'm going to do it, I'd probably go to Costa Maya and get one of those inexpensive ones there on the beach. So as you probably know, using the ATM can cost some money, and there is an opportunity to save a little money. There's a waived convenience fee for cashless wagering on your CPass card once you get past the Choice level and onto Prime and above. As probably most of you know, the biggest perk that most people I think end up using, not for everybody, is free drinks. So once you hit Prime level, you will get free drinks. That is for the casino bar only. One of the things I'm really liking is the discounts on the Voom internet. So if you are a Choice member, there's no discount for it, but when you become Prime, there is a discount for that, and it's 30%. And what I like to do, because I'm also Diamond, and that has its own perk, to where I get 1 free day of internet, the way I make that work for me is I take my free day first, and then I'll go to the Voom desk and I'll get the 30% off applied then. So you can't use that like when you're booking your normal stuff there on before the cruise. It's something you do on the cruise. So again, day 1, if you happen to be Diamond, if you use that day 1 and then use the internet, purchase the package after that, you'll save some money and you can use that 30%. So you don't have to necessarily worry about catching a special because you already kind of got your special built in. And I happen to really like that perk. If I'm traveling and say my wife is with me, and she's Prime, so I'll get a day, she will get a day. So day 1 would be, we'll have the internet for, say, me, and day 2 we'll use it for her. So we'll be paying for day 3 on, but at a 30% discount, which again, when I'm trying to do the YouTube stuff, I've got to use this. I'm on Brilliance of the Seas now, and I'm going to be using theirs to upload what you're watching right now. And it's what I did on the last one. You'll probably get the next one from here. However, when you become Signature, you can get, instead of discounted, you'll actually get free internet for the cruise for 1 device. And then when you become Master, you get free internet for 2 devices. So for as much as I cruise, now I've never reached Signature, but I mean, for the cruise that I'm doing right now, and I just paid it actually, it's day 2. I did the free day yesterday for the being Diamond, and then I paid what ended up being $109 and some change for 6 more days of internet, the rest of this particular cruise. Well, as if I'm doing like right now, I think I've got 9 or 10 cruises. I guess I got 10 cruises through Royal planned. That's $1,000. So if it happens to work out to where I hit Signature, I mean, there's a big value to that, to get that bonus, that it's worth thinking about. I mean, I'm really not that close right now, but besides the cruise I'm on that I'm accruing points, I've got another one immediately after this, and then in 2 or 3 weeks I do a short cruise, and then a 9-night cruise, and then the month after that I've got a 9-night and a 7-night, and then I think that's all I've got planned right now for this fiscal year for their casino, which ends April 1st. The other things I believe are past that. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to get Signature. However, if I'm sitting close for some reason, if just things happen to work out, I would probably play for it if I was within a couple thousand points on just knowing how often I've been cruising. That would probably be worth making an extra effort if I was reasonably close to getting there. Right now I'm under 10,000 points, but for me anyway, that's not worth trying to play for. But again, if I just got on a roll and was playing a little more because I hit some jackpots and maybe playing a little bit harder, I might consider it, but I'm really not shooting for it. I'd have to be really sitting on those last few days of the cruise and looking at my points going, okay, I'm close to make that decision. But for me anyway, that's not in the cards, no pun intended. So but I want you to know what that is, as far as if you play that way. Yeah, this is something you need to know about and how to use that, as far as if you've got status with, like I said, Diamond Plus and above. So when you get to Masters, there are more perks. You get priority entertainment access and dining reservations, a little bit better for you, but that is only for the Masters. Also at the Masters level, there is an onboard credit available. All the things I'm telling you will have some extra terms and conditions, and I'm not going to necessarily read the whole, pages and pages of the different things that they'll put out for all the different, ways of wording things. But even going back to the jewelry, there's some different jewelry things that are on there, the branded jewelry or whatever, that doesn't exactly cover one versus another. So there's some limitations, but at least know about that. You get priority access at the terminal. For me, my experience has been, because I usually am trying to be the first one on board. I get it, the other people that want to do something else, but I want to start my vacation right away. And it's really not that long of a line, and because I'm the first person usually up there, the first few people, the small amount of people that are signature or masters or have suites, there's not that many people there, so it's a few minutes. So for me, that would not be a huge perk just to get masters for that. The other thing you get at masters is you get priority carry-on, so you can actually get your stuff and get it to your room earlier without having to wait. One of the caveats on that is, and you can get your stuff into the room. You can't get you into the room, because they're still making that up from the people that were on there before. So instead of lugging on, say if you have a backpack or a bag, you don't have to keep that with you. You can pass that over and they will take it to the room for you. But again, you cannot go to your room because maybe you had a long trip and get to crash earlier, because they're still making up the rooms. And I think that came up, I want to say, on a Carnival ship where someone had that kind of a perk, and they got really upset because they wanted room access because they had been driving and felt that sort of entitlement that they should get that because of their play, but they're trying to make all these rooms up and they'll get there faster, but you got to give them time, got to be reasonable with the requests, and I really think that's a nice little perk to have in there. The other thing you will get is a special lunch on boarding day. They call it a welcome lunch. It's from Chops Grill, but it's actually done in the main dining room rather than Chops, but it's from their menu. Also, being masters, you have coastal kitchen access. And again, with masters, you have a flexible departure with an a la carte breakfast. For me, again, this would not be a huge deal. Usually when I'm doing what I do, I will go and get my breakfast early on and just walk my stuff right off the ship. I'll check the bags sometimes if I've got a late flight, but I really like just taking my bags off. It's really not that big of a deal to me, so it's not a huge perk. Now, with any of these tiers, there's going to be some exclusive casino offers, and depending on where you're at in those tiers, it's going to make a difference as to where those offers come from, what types of rooms and such like that. So all the levels have something, but it makes a difference as to where you're at on that status chart as to what you're going to be offered. You also get access to Club Royal VIP events, and again, that's going to be good also through all 4 levels. Once you become Prime, there's a special number for your to call if you have issues that you don't get at the choice level. And then also, being Prime or above, you can get discounts for family and friends. Now that's for additional staterooms. You're gonna need to be on there if you're sailing with family and friends, and that can also be, again, I think I talked a little bit about that earlier as far as using that discount. I had a cruise that I needed to take, and it wasn't one of the better offers. It was like a BOGO offer. And so what I had done with this, because it was right in the middle of one that's coming up where I've got 5 cruises in a row, and I needed to fill in this little blank, but the only offer I had was a BOGO offer. And so it was for an ocean view, and to get the price down, because it was the BOGO, I went from an ocean view to an interior, and that brought the price down, and I was able to use the offer, and I could have chosen my room, but I was able to save a little more money by saying I wanted to get a discount on that and give up my right to picking a room and just going with a guaranteed room. So that saved me some money, again, because I don't care where I'm at on here. I prefer an interior room, and I don't get seasick, and I don't worry one way or the other if I'm high or low or front or back. Doesn't matter to me at all. The other thing you get, and this is Prime and above, is you can get offers to partner casinos on land. As many of you may know, MGM is partnered with them, so you can do some things through there. If you've never sailed before, you can use your MGM points and possibly get a free cruise or discounted cruise on Royal Caribbean. And then, of course, when you hit any of these tier levels, you are going to get your, what I look at as Prime cruise, but there's this, as you go to Signature or Masters, that cruise get you to a better cabin. It doesn't get you to additional cruises. You don't do 2,500 points and then every 2,500 get a free cruise from that. That's not how that works. It is 2,500 points up to the next tier, and that gets you an interior cabin for up to a 7-day cruise on any cruise ship, but they do have to have a room available. And I don't mean sold out versus not sold out. I mean that there are certain rooms that are blocked out as casino rooms, and if those are gone, those are gone. You won't be able to get that cruise. So when you get that offer that comes up, and the offers come out in about the middle of April, you'll want to get on there and get something in there pretty quick, because the first time I hit it, I waited. I had a cruise I was wanting, and by the time I got around to doing it on my end, that cruise wasn't available, and I ended up had to pick a different cruise. So acting on that when they come out is pretty important, and they put it out in kind of stages on how much you've played as to when your date is for things to open. So if you've just barely scraped over that 2,500 points, you're going to be basically the last person to pick. It's going to be the people that have gotten the other stuff that are going to be ahead of you, and people with more points. And that does include just in the tier of prime. So people that have 15,000 points are going to be a few days ahead of the person who just eked over and got 2,500 points, if that makes sense. But again, once you go to signature, that room goes from an interior for 7 days to a balcony. And then if you get to masters, that's actually a grand suite that you get. Again, that's at the masters tier. And these are 7-day cruises. Now, it does not mean that every cruise is available. There's a blackout list, and it's usually the newest ship or something that's just overly popular. So technically speaking, it starts, and they say roughly after a year of a ship being out, that may be available. But we saw this ourselves with Wonder of the Seas, to where when a year was up and we were trying to use our cruise, we didn't get to use that right away. We had to wait for the following year. So when Icon comes up here after this year, when it's been a year, it came out in January, so we'll be past that mid-April. I'm not expecting that to be on the list. I'm expecting it to be blocked off, or most of the dates to be blocked off, if not the entire ship. So I don't expect it, but if it can, I'm probably going to take it. So as you're playing in the casino, you're going to earn points, as you know. Before you leave the ship, you can cash those out for free play, and I think some people miss that opportunity. They'll play and they'll get all these points, and then they leave the ship, but they haven't played their free play. And as I understand the program, I've not tried this, but as it says, as far as by the word, is that you can return those. You can take those points and turn them into onboard credit as well to use. So I've always just used it and played that out as far as gambling. But again, you can use that, from what it says, at least on their site, is that you can take that and spend it elsewhere on the ship for souvenirs, which I kind of thought was kind of a neat perk. I really didn't realize that until fairly recently. And one last note to leave you on, somewhat related, is that, of course, in the quest for points, if you are in tournaments on the ship, if you're on the slot tournaments or doing the poker tournaments, you do not gain points for that. I know I've said that in the past, but I hear people thinking that there's something to that, and it doesn't work. So just know that. And then I guess the last thing I'm going to leave you at is to be careful when you're gambling. I've seen people, and I saw it on this ship the last time I doing back to back, and there was some young ladies, and they lost a ton of money that they didn't really realize they were losing at the time. And it's just heartbreaking, because I get it that you're playing and you're drinking and you're having a good time, and it's way too easy to think that you're due when there is no due. There's no such thing as being due. I've caught myself saying I'm due, or I'm bound to hit, or the machine's about to, and it is not work that way at all. There's nothing that says the machine is going to help you out because you've had such a dry spell. Matter of fact, I kind of feel like those that think that way usually get burned. Sometimes you get lucky, But play within your means, go with the budget. And I'm saying that, you know, I've made the mistake myself. I haven't went that crazy to where I'm losing thousands and thousands of dollars. But yeah, just be careful and know when your limit is. You want to have fun. If you're not enjoying yourself while you're gambling, then you shouldn't be gambling. That's just my opinion. Everybody's welcome to do their own thing. I'm not here trying to preach, I'm trying to teach. So I hope everybody has a wonderful time their next trip on the casino. Hopefully I'll see you on the ship. Say hi to me, and we'll see you in the next video right here. Bye.